and we're live. Thanks for joining us today. We have our second ZeroChain conference call, this time with Phil Castillo, ZeroChain Chief Revenue Officer. I'll give a little background on Phil before we get going. Phil is a 30-plus year industry veteran with success within both large marquee firms as well as aggressive growth-oriented startups. At ZeroChain, he is responsible for delighting customers and communicating the value ZeroChain can deliver to the enterprise market. He most recently was VP of Sales and General Manager of Sales for the U.S. Western region with Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, with over $2 billion in hybrid cloud, converged infrastructure, and technology services business. Phil's team represented all segments and routes to market and excelled with channels and partnerships. Previously, Phil was promoted to Vice President of U.S. Sales for HP Networking. In 2012, he was named Global Sales Manager of the Year. Phil joined HP from Siemens Communications, where he was Vice President of West Sales. While at Siemens, Castillo built the sales team, driving immediate impact with over-plan performance and over 20% year-over-year growth. Prior to Siemens, Phil had successful sales leadership roles for over 9 years with Cisco Systems. He has had successful roles with smaller startups, including Kalpana. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. And Kalpana invented Ethernet switching and was acquired by Cisco Systems. And Maroon Networks, which was acquired by Fortinet. As Sales Vice President West at Avaya, Phil was recognized as #1 sales leader in the world and US in 2003 and 2004. So all that said, we have a great addition in Phil, and it makes for a perfect second conference call this month, as a lot of the community is curious about the ZeroChain approach to expanding our tech in the enterprise sector. For those who don't already know, the conference call AMAs work like this. The first week of the month, we post a Reddit thread requesting questions for the team. On the 15th of that month, we close the questions, so we lock the thread. And then at the end of the month, we do an on-camera interview with one of the core team members, this time with Phil. And then we answer the questions on camera, and then we also shoot out an article that provides written responses that we can look back on, and for you guys to look back on and review those answers. So to keep my end short and sweet for you guys, because the last conference call we did ran a little bit long, so we're trying to shorten that up. We'll just hand over the reins to Phil right now, and he can have a chat with you guys and provide his answers to your Reddit questions. So Phil, thanks a lot for taking the time out today for the community. So we'll let you take the reins right now.
Thank you, Derek. Appreciate it. And that's way too much about me on the front end there. But no, I'm excited to be with the ZeroChain team. It's been a great couple of months, and just super excited as we march to our mainnet launch and some of the stuff that we've accomplished. But I wanted to jump right into your questions. I thought some of the questions were really good. And I'll go ahead and provide the answers to the questions, and then and Derek, I'll let you wrap up at the end there. But I look forward to doing these more in the future and answering any other questions that you guys may have. So let's jump in. So one of the first questions was, there have been hints of ZeroChain working with one or more than one Fortune 500 company as testnet has advanced. Can you speak to what these relationships entail? What use cases are they looking into? And that's from, I'll say it wrong, but Pionkows, Pionkows. I thought it was a good question. And yeah, we're engaging with a number of systems integrators, cloud platform providers, and other IT service providers. And it'll broaden our ability to attract and serve enterprise customers and other customers. Many of these organizations are building their own blockchain practices and trying to understand blockchain, and they know it's an immature market. Their interest in us is varied based on their understanding of blockchain. But they do see our blockchain as a service as a good offer, a good start. And they're really trying to understand what storage via blockchain or decentralized storage and dCloud offer can do for their customers. Some of the use cases that we're exploring, some that jump right up are around IoT, specifically storing critical data as IoT devices check into a network. We can store that on chain. Digital rights management is another hot area where we're able to store data, and the ability to store that data via blockchain, manage the permissions and access has value, and we're discussing that with a number of customers. And then monetization of data, taking a set of data and putting it on chain. It's got tokenization tied to it, and it's ready to be monetized. And these are just some of the emerging use cases, and there's quite a few others. So I thought that was a great question. Next question. What are the biggest plus and minus critics about zero chain / dCloud versus traditional clouds that you hear from interested parties? And this is from Zvonky. I thought that was a good question as well. So current cloud systems and current economics are what everybody understands. And our approach to this is so revolutionary that it requires some new understanding. So we spend a lot of time educating customers. Enterprise customers especially are used to one neck to choke services, and blockchain being decentralized is new. And it requires them to think in a different way. So there's a lot of translation work going on. That's a great question. Here's another question. Will zero chain provide end-to-end applications for enterprises? Will it be not only zero cost cloud, but also, I think they meant zero cost blockchain as a service? I think what is important, and then the other part of the question is, what is the most important traditional niche at the moment, and where do you see your potential customers, and in what spheres? And that's from VVK 154. So number one, VVK, way to get 3 questions into one. I thought that was inventive, but I'm happy to answer those. So on the end-to-end piece, we will provide customized forks, wallets, and in the right situation, decentralized applications. We're not really a hardware platform provider, but we are going to be focused on blockchain as a service, and then the dCloud components and the other components that customers may want to leverage us for. Will it be not only zero cost cloud, but zero cost blockchain as a service? Our blockchain as a service will be a subscription service. Customers will pay for it. What is the most important traditional niche? And where do we see potential customers, and in what spheres? IoT, digital rights management on the enterprise side are hot. We think those are going to be some early wins for us. On the crypto side, we think we've got a very fast and resilient blockchain, and we've got some really exciting things we're doing in the wallet space. We're not ready to announce that we think the crypto space will see tons of value in. Great question, VVK 154. This one's a little bit longer question / suggestion, but I think it's good. If I have a question, if this suggestion is feasible and reasonable. Suggestion: we know that zero chain company will gain revenue by selling private applications of the zero chain tech to enterprises. I suggest that all this money from these sales has to be kept in the zero chain company, so it has to be spent for development of blockchain, for marketing, and so on. If money leaves zero chain company as dividend, then these dividends will go to ZCN token holders and not just the team. If I invest in a public offering of stock, then also all revenue will go to me in form of dividends, depending on how many stocks I hold. So why should it be different here? My suggestion is fair to everyone, and this is Crypto Lover 165. So I think it's also another good question, but our attention and goal is to provide the world's fastest and most resilient blockchain based cloud solution and delight our enterprise customers and our crypto-based customers. And that's our mission, that's our goal. In doing so, our goal is to create demand for our ZCN token. As the value of the token goes, so does the value of zero chain, plain and simple. As with most startups, we don't see a point in the near term where we see a profitable horizon. and I don't see us in a traditional place to provide a quote unquote dividend almost ever. Our intent is to direct all revenues to continue fund research and development, operations, and marketing. Myself and the other founders, we hold tokens, invest over time over a 4-year period, and we're motivated to drive the tokens value for the long term. And that's plain and simple. There's no other motive. We want to drive the ZCN token value, and that's through demand. Great question. So here was a good one. Let's hear your pitch to enterprise prospects and also to enterprise-grade data centers that are needed to support the network. Anomalous one. It's from Anomalous. So not to dodge the question, but it really depends on the specific type of enterprise, financial versus manufacturing versus healthcare. These different entities have different buying personas. They've got different languages. They have got different use cases. So you don't approach them one size fits all. But in general, enterprise for the first time can leverage to disrupt current norms and how data is managed and stored by leveraging blockchain-based storage. This disruption can lead to new revenue opportunities in monetization of data, increased security, and enhanced performance, all with incredibly disruptive economics. Disrupt or be disrupted. That's the mantra right now in most markets. Iterative growth just won't cut it. It's not about your cheese being moved. It's about somebody starting to cook with bacon. And we're going to help our customers disrupt with our solutions. So, and then I ended with, I'd love to hear your pitch, Anomalous. So send that to me. Another quick question. Per 1 million of enterprise spend on decloud and decompute, what is an appropriate % compensation for enterprise-grade hosting facilities to earn? Another one from Anomalous One. The good news is they don't have to necessarily spend much at all. Enterprises buy and lock tokens, but retain them. Think of it as like a wallet or an escrow account. So they're not really spent. On the service side, I don't think I can accurately determine the percentage of revenue or compensation the hosters will derive. It'll depend on many factors, including how much storage is required, a petabyte versus a terabyte, or the number of transactions, if it's a high transaction environment or a low transaction, that will drive the revenue for all. There'll be hosted private forks with different attributes as well. This is kind of a tough question to answer, but and we're figuring this out as we go along, and we'll communicate some of those value cases. One other question that was directed at me, and while Phil Castillo is responsible for communicating the value ZeroChain can deliver to the enterprise market, who is responsible for communicating the value ZeroChain can deliver to the classic crypto investors? These hype investors are also responsible for hype and high market caps of currencies at exchanges, so this market shouldn't be forgotten. This is Crypto Lover 165. Here's my perspective. In no way, shape, or form have we forgotten about the crypto market, but we have been focusing on building a solution for both enterprise customers and crypto exchanges that has long-term rock-solid value. Many ICOs have some loose tie to something besides having a token on an exchange. We at ZeroChain, we want to build something that changes the way the world stores and manages data forever. Near-term hype and market up and downs are the reality of the current crypto space, and we will be active in promoting our service and token. Near-term hype is less of a focus than building our mainnet and the critical partnerships and our first customers. We think that will drive demand for our token near and long term, and have real solid value. But that's the end of the questions from my perspective. We've had a couple of questions popped after we closed the Reddit, specifically around some partnerships that we've announced, a partnership specifically with Oracle. And it's the first of many partnerships that we will be announcing over time. But Oracle, we've got some good relations with them. We've been in some very good discussions with not only their ISV team and their cloud team, but their blockchain team. And we continue to have those discussions with them. But they view us as a valuable software option for their customers, and we've engaged them, and we're on their partner network now as a silver partner. And I had mentioned and put something up on LinkedIn where I was invited to a really cool event with a small number of their ISVs, and we heard from them what they're trying to do to help promote their cloud platform and the value their cloud platform along with our solutions can provide. More to come on that. I think more than anything, it validates our approach and it validates our go-to-market, and we're excited about that. And you'll see other announcements as well. So, with that, Derek, I think we've covered what we needed to cover today, and I'm just super excited to be part of the Zero Chain team. And I know we're going to be successful. I think Siva, our VP of Engineering, has done a fantastic job with his team. Well over 3 billion transactions, all with incredibly fast finality in a global environment now, and we're marching to mainnet, and it's going to be exciting when we deliver that. So with that, Derek, I'll kick it back to you.
Yeah, it's really exciting to watch you guys. You guys are divided in your efforts, but together you guys are conquering all ends of the spectrum. So we really appreciate it from the community side, and wanted to thank you again for answering those questions. There were a few questions on the Reddit thread that were better suited for Saswata. So he provided some written answers to the questions, and some of them Phil also answered. So I'm just going to reread each question, and then I'll read off Saswata's answers to those questions. First question was 10% of Zero Chain tokens have been sold, and 50% are set as reward for miners, which will be released starting around 1% for up to approximately 100 years. The team share, 25%, 30% including seed, but team share is set to be released over the next few years at a much faster rate than miner reward, and team tokens will then be the majority in circulation within a few years. How can you expect to attract miners with this model? Why not extend team reward with miners so that the miners will always receive majority? And that's from SculptX. Saswata's answer. The initial setup is team receives 25% of tokens vested over 4 years, and the public 25% vested immediately, which is already vested, except for the seed, which vests also over time, which is the standard innovation model to facilitate startups to develop product along with the initial risk takers. We intend to change the model to reward the miners from 50% to an indefinite amount at the rate of 2 million tokens per year, changeable through governance protocol. So in the future, miners will have a higher portion. The miner reward is still 10% return of each 1 million staked, and that return with upside token value, similar to a CD or a stock with dividend income. And kind of what he means by upside token value is you're going to have that integrated storage value associated with the ZCN token. So having more inflation to miners will actually decrease token value. Since the upfront cost required for mining is low, we don't expect it to be a problem to attract miners. And as a side note, I did write an article recently about the extraordinary profitability of Zero Chain token mining. So please give that a read. We'll link that in the Medium article. But back to Saswata's answer. In fact, we expect token buyers to stake their tokens to be part-time miners, as it will be easy to set up on any of the cloud providers. With regards to slowing down the vesting part of the team to reduce dilution, it's only 2 times dilution over 4 years, where we'd like to see 100 to 1000x growth based on data and asset transfer value. So the speed of dilution is mathematically negligible compared to the value we expect to generate if we execute our business plan. Next question. While Phil Castillo is responsible for communicating the value Zero Chain can deliver to the enterprise market, who is responsible for communicating the value Zero Chain can deliver to the classic crypto investors? These hype investors are also responsible for hype and high market caps of cryptocurrencies at exchanges So this market shouldn't be forgotten, and that's Crypto Lover 165. Saswata's answer is nice and brief. He said, I'll be communicating the value ZeroChain can deliver to the classic crypto investors. So I wouldn't be worried on that angle. We are very focused on adding value to the ZeroChain token because it is very important to everything that we're doing with all of our protocols. Next question. At today's price of $10 per ZeroChain token, how do you expect to combat hyperinflation with the token? At today's price, there's only $20 million USD value that can be compensated to blobbers and miners. How do you solve this problem to ensure longevity? That question's from Anomalous One. Saswata's answer, if value stays low, we will not offer the destorage part initially. The asset transfer value of the token, zero cost fees, and sub-second finality should be enough to drive adoption. The cost of mining and sharding is fairly low and will contain inflation. So his answer is basically, we're going to start out with miners in the event that ZeroChain token stays low because it is important to increase the value to make it a competitive solution. So given the profitability of mining, this shouldn't be an issue, but that's kind of our approach. Next question. Has the ZeroChain team thought about working together with influencers within the blockchain community? No, I am not talking about these hype boys like Ian something and Suppo something. Have a look at this list, linked to cryptoinfluencers.io. There are plenty of down-to-earth, realistic influencers within the crypto space which could help bring the word out regarding ZeroChain in a non-hype way. One thing is for sure, the current approach, if any, isn't working. Harsh, very harsh. And when the time comes, ZeroChain needs a gateway to get the word out. And that question's from Relaxed Sense. Saswata's answer is yes, I'm open to communicating with any crypto influencers to help our project if you arrange an introduction. So there you guys go. If he's provided with an introduction of an influencer, he will definitely reach out to them. We did a couple interviews already with some influencers, and we're kind of awaiting them to release it on their end. So it's kind of out of our control. But my personal experience with Saswata is he will always set time aside to meet with crypto influencers. He puts this at the forefront, and trust me, he stays very, very busy on the development side as well. So it's right up there with importance. So that concludes Saswata's answers to some of those more Saswata related questions. I'll pass it over to Phil for his closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you, Derek, and thank you everybody for the questions. Look forward to answering more in the future. We appreciate your interest, and for those of you that have invested, please know that we're working our tails off to deliver. I would say this is a very unique. It's a very unique time, and it's a very unique company. We're trying to marry two different worlds in a way: the enterprise world, which is very deterministic, and you deliver a product, and then you start marketing the product very close to delivery, and then you've got the crypto world, which is it's a 24-hour, minute-by-minute, hyperactive world, and so those two worlds are very different. And we have a good challenge in front of us, but the opportunities, phenomenal. I mean, some of the discussions we're having are super exciting, and we look forward to delivering. We look forward to delivering to our enterprise customers and delivering value to our investors as well. So appreciate it, Derek, and you guys all have a great day.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very crazy. A crazy market once everything starts to swing. I think we all saw it last year, so I'm really excited about that. And that concludes our second conference call. Another huge thanks to Phil for taking time away from his busy schedule, and a big thanks to the ZeroChain community for you guys' continued support and engaged interest. The thoughtful questions really help out our development efforts. A lot of them have helped me think critically on things I didn't really consider before. So there's still a lot of questions out there that are are worth asking, because they can make you think a little bit differently. And that goes for everyone on the team, even the smartest guys, all the PhDs. So keep asking questions, keep staying involved. And that also helps give us a pulse on, what's important for you guys. Because we have to make sure the community is happy as well. This is a decentralized network, and it requires a community to keep it alive. So everyone's important here. And if you haven't yet, please join our Telegram and announcement Telegram as well, so you can stay up to date with everything, and kind of keep involved with everything that we're doing. And we'll include links to those in the article portion. Also be sure to add more questions to next month's conference call. We'll open up the questions for those in a few days. But that's it. We're trying to keep it brief, short and sweet. That's it for both Phil and I. And thanks again for watching and listening. Cheers.